Right, guys, any question? Everyone has finished the challenges. Everyone has finished the project.
Yep, I'm gonna make you a host because for some reason I cannot see participants or see the chats.
All right.
Okay, you're a host now.
Yes.
Hey, Seth.
Hey.
I joined anonymously, so I could be in the audience. I've actually got a question about the DFX identities.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, you get a principal, and it's in your command line and all that, but there's no like way to export a secret key or anything like that. And I imagine it's connected to your machine, but it does seem like it can do stuff on the live network. So like, how does like is that a security issue, or like how does that affect projects? Meaning, like, if a computer blew up that had the DFX identity, like, or somebody else just walked up to your computer and started using the terminal, would they be able to control the app completely?
So, as far as I know, there is a dot in your one like the DFX folder. Okay. You can export it. Like I think you can export it into plug. They have a feature. Wait, is it the other way around? I think it's the other way around. You can export your plug identity. Wait, let me check.
I saw an import, but I didn't see an export. But if you're saying it's just in a file, I mean, you don't need to export it then if you just can find it in the folder tree. I didn't know that though. I assumed it was somewhere.
And yes, that's one concern. Like if someone like access your computer, they can basically update the canisters and everything. Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so like for a large project, then like what would like let's say there was a lot of money on the line and you had like a DeFi app, like what would be the proper way to do that? Would you export your key? It's not really safe to have it digitally anyways, but you like write down all the stuff in that file on a piece of paper and bury it in the ground and then like make your computer be super locked all the time, or like what would you do?
I think there are multiple answers to that. First answer, I guess, if you, well, basically the main problem is that you need to make sure that the controllers of the canister won't get corrupted. So first, you can probably have something like a multisig. If you have like a canister that does that, like kind of an SNS, but I mean multi wallet canister. Actually, I might be working on something like that, where you have like multiple participants that can sign with their principal, and once you reach like a certain value, the canister do something, and you set this canister to be the controller of the main one of the project. There is probably also the SNS, which is kind of doing that, but with a governance token.
Yeah. Well, we definitely need group wallets. So like, and the documentation. Sorry, go on.
I think if someone else wants to answer, I don't feel like 100% sure on this question.
Okay.
So I'm not super familiar with this either, but I'm on the forums a lot, and there's a lot of talk about this type of thing in PEM files. And there was a discussion recently about using the same identity between Node.js and DFX. And there's a post that Kyle Peacock shared where they have a seed phrase, and they're able to use that in multiple ways. So they use it with the keysmith command line tool, which I've never used, but I know people use it. And then there's some Node.js code where they're converting the seed phrase to an actual identity that they can use to make requests. So I don't think this is endorsed, and if you ever put this in like front end code, people would be able to see what you're doing and probably access it. But it seems like there are ways to make this work, and probably with a bit of time, there'll be better solutions. I could put the link in the chat right now if it helps.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, I know security is one of those things you can always do more, and it's always changing. I was, I don't know, kind of surprised. It seemed like a bit of a gap, but that's all.
I'm personally just of the opinion you need to secure your devices and use appropriate caution if you think you have something valuable.
Seb, don't let anyone near your computer.
Yeah, seriously, lock your computer when you walk away, or set it up so that you have the hotspot in the corner. When you move your mouse over, it locks your screen and you have to unlock it when you come back, and things like that. Like, I seriously think that's a good idea.
I agree.
James in the chat asked about going over creating a list that stores a custom type. I don't know if anybody's set up to demo that right now. I could probably find an existing example somewhere.
I can try to do it. Let me share my screen. So I guess you first want to create the type. So I think it was something like this. Species. And the name. And so if you want to use the type text, you can import the list module. And you want to import the type list from the list module. Something like that. Oh, that's wrong.
You need a type argument in your type alias, so it needs to be like list angle brackets A on both sides.
Okay. Oh, yes. Okay.
For some reason, you can't reduce it like that. You just have to type it out and expand it.
And I guess if you want to create, you would use something like nil. So let A, list of animal, list dot, yes. So I would do something like that. And then maybe I could put it in a var, so I could modify it. And then I would do a dot, a list dot push. Yes, so you need to provide the value to push. I would say, again, so my Motoko playground is jumping randomly. So especially, and I would provide the list. So wait, that's how I would do it. So does that answer the question? So I guess the difficulties are with the fact that you need to import the type from the list module. You can also I guess you could also recreate all the the types, but would make it more complicated. And then you can just push it like that. Right? Seems to answer the question. If anyone has a question, I can maybe just, I don't know, I can just show cool things if no one has question. So I wanted to show this project. So you've seen that like each canister has a controller or multiple controllers, and that's something really cool on the internet computer. You can upgrade the canister, which is not the case on many other blockchains. But it also means that like any project you are putting money into can basically just delete the whole smart contract. There is a way to prevent that. It's called black holing a canister. So basically, black holing canister means setting its controller list of controller to something to null. But I think it introduces an issue, which is you don't have like you have to be the controller of a canister to access certain informations. I'm not sure exactly which information it is. So it seems to be the status of the canister. So to prevent that, there is something cool which has been made. It's called the black hole canister. It's a canister that has no controller, but allow you to basically check the status of all canisters that have this by providing the canister ID. And so the idea behind that is that you set with this command, you set the controller of your canister to the black hole canister, and that's it. Your canister is immutable, and you can still access some information. So that was something cool I wanted to show. On the day 4 guide, at the end, it talks about using a switch to evaluate some text to determine what month it corresponds to. Could someone rewrite that function but using variants? I guess, yeah, I think you can totally do that. It would probably recommend it after the talk on variants. Can you define controller?
If I can just say about the variance thing, I actually haven't looked at the guide, but yeah, common refactorings that I've seen are things like defining a week as a variant, and each day of the week would be a tag, and you could do that for months too.
Yeah, the challenge is a bit. It's basically, yeah, the code has been shared. It's a bit dumb. It was just to like explain what is a switch case, and
I see.
yeah.
Yeah, the nice thing, I guess, about using variants too is you don't have to have this default case where it's something that doesn't make sense because it has to be an exhaustive switch. So I guess here you would have a variant for seasons or something, and it would have winter, spring, summer, autumn, and then you wouldn't need the default case. But I think this is perhaps different to what you were asking for in the guide and the challenge. So I'll leave that up to you, Seb.
Yeah, that was mainly to show switch case, but I will probably add something on variant for tomorrow.
All right.
So someone was asking, can you define controller? Yeah, I can define a controller. So controller of a canister is the principle that control the canister. One of the principle, you can have multiple of them. And the controller is the person, the principle that is able to upgrade the canister. So change the WASM module. And you can actually access the controller of a canister. I don't remember the exact command though. So I would say it's in info. Wait. Does someone remember how to access the controller of the canister? I cannot find it. I have the command to update, so that's how I would update it, but maybe in the status. No.
I am not sure, but it looks like in that command on the README, it had some output that said controller. So maybe it's something that gets printed out when you set up the canister.
Which one?
If you could go back to the GitHub README page and scroll up a little bit. Yeah, could you scroll up a little bit on this page? Yeah, so you can see when they called canister, whatever that canister command, canister info. I think maybe that printed out the controller.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe that's it.
So that would be.
I'm not sure. I would just try canister info help or something like that.
Yeah. Oh.
But if people are unsure about what some of these terms are, like controller,
Okay.
I'm going to put a link to the glossary, which has controller and lots of other things that you might want to know about in the chat.
Yeah, for some reason. Oh, okay, it was written here. For some reason, I missed it. So yeah, it's canister info, and you got the module hash and the controller. So you have two of them. I think you got the cycle. So this is I guess this is my principle. This is a canister that I've deployed like today. Yeah, this is my principle, and I guess it's the cycle wallet.
Yeah, Albert is saying that if you type DFX wallet, it will show.
Oh, yes. Yes. DFX one. Yeah. So that's it.
It looks like Austin has a question or something. Here we go.
Yeah. I've just promoted Austin as a panelist.
Sorry, I was just saying that I know that when I try to deploy from the wrong wallet, it tells me who the controller is, which might be.
Oh, yes.
Looks like you got it.
What did you say? Might be dangerous.
I was just sorry you figured it out since I raised my hand, but I was saying that sometimes I get it tells me who the right controller is when I'm on the wrong account and I try to deploy. It'll tell me who the controller is. So I was offering that as a solution.
Yeah, I think it's a public information. You got it on you have it on ICRocks. Like if you search for canister, you got the list of controllers. Yes. Well, guys, we don't have any question today. So
If we don't have more questions, then we can end the session, Seth.
yep.
Okay, perfect, guys. See you in the next lecture. It's gonna be in a few hours. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.